The rain fell in sheets, a cold, gray curtain over the world. It drummed a somber rhythm on the polished wood of John's coffin, a final, dreary applause to a life concluded. Friends and family, huddled under a sea of black umbrellas, watched as the last memento was placed in his hands, a heavy, black rotary phone, its coiled cord nestled against his still chest. His wife had insisted. It was his last, bizarre request. With a heavy thud, the lid was sealed, plunging John into an absolute, final darkness. The first shovelful of wet earth hit the coffin, the sound echoing like a drumbeat from another world, each set a nail in the coffin of his memory. Then came another, and another, until the sounds from above became muffled, distant, and finally gone. Only the profound, crushing silence of the grave remained 6 feet under. Time ceased to exist. The world was a cramped, wooden box, filled with the scent of pine and formaldehyde. The darkness was a physical presence pressing in from all sides, then a sound. A sharp, mechanical, impossibly loud ringing sliced through the silence. It was jarring, violent, a sound that belonged to the world of the living, not the dead. Inside the coffin, John's eyes snapped open. He was greeted by the same suffocating blackness, but now it was filled with the deafening shriek of the telephone. Panic, cold and sharp, seized him. His heart, long still, seemed to hammer against his ribs. He tried to scream, but his lungs were empty, useless. The ringing was relentless, drilling into his skull. He had to answer it. He had to make it stop. His fingers, stiff and cold, twitched. He fought against the paralysis that held his body captive, the rigidity of death itself. Every movement was a monumental effort, a war against his own unyielding flesh. He could feel the smooth, cool plastic of the receiver just inches from his hand. With a final, agonizing strain, his fingers closed around it. The weight felt alien, impossibly heavy. He managed to lift it, the coiled cord stretching tautly in the confined space. The ringing stopped, replaced by a soft, expectant hiss. He brought the receiver to his ear, his breath a silent, desperate gasp. A voice crackled through the line, distorted and faint, like a whisper carried on a winter wind. It spoke of spirals and stars, of doors that opened downwards. The words were gibberish, nonsensical, yet they carried a chilling, ancient familiarity. It was a language he shouldn't understand, but a part of him, a deep, forgotten part, did. Above, the rain had softened to a drizzle. The mourners had long since departed, all except one. A solitary figure, cloaked in black, stood motionless by the freshly turned earth of John's grave. It was his wife, the mourner. Her face was a pale, emotionless mask in the fading light. In her gloved hand, she held a matching rotary phone, its twin. She held the receiver to her ear, her expression blank, her eyes fixed on the mound of soil before her. She didn't speak. She only listened. As the whispers continued to pour into John's ear from below, the ground around the grave began to tremble. A low hum started, a vibration that seemed to emanate from the very roots of the ancient cemetery oaks. Then, another ring, and another. The sound wasn't just coming from John's grave anymore. It was erupting from all around him, from dozens of other plots, a chorus of frantic, subterranean calls. Phones, long buried with their owners, were ringing in unison. The whispers in John's ear grew louder, multiplying into a chorus of voices, all speaking the same strange, spiraling language. The ground above shook more violently, the humming escalating into a deep, resonant roar. It was the sound of a great machine waking up, of a network being activated. John was no longer just a body in a box. He was a receiver, a node in a vast, unseen switchboard. The voices from the other graves joined the one on his line, a cacophony of the dead, all connected, all speaking at once. He was part of something terrible and eternal. The darkness in his coffin was no longer empty. It was filled with the echoes of 1,000 buried conversations, a spectral network humming to life beneath the sleeping world. The screen fades to black, the deafening roar of 100 ringing phones consuming everything. Silence returns, briefly. Then, A new sound emerges from the darkness. A single, steady, unanswered dial tone emanating from a freshly filled grave, glowing faintly in the dead of night. The line is open, waiting. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the dark, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more stories that linger long after the screen goes black.